Sup guys, Hiking here, bringing you some new Resident Evil 9 rumored leaks. So yes, we got some rumored leaks here, a lot apparently. Some stuff we know and some new stuff added in. I'm going to read through all of it, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, like usual, basic case scenario, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Also, to recap regarding the audio from the last video, I left the headphones in, that's why the audio was a bit off, so yeah, I need to remember to keep the headphones out of this. Also, I got back from watching the Chainsaw movie today, so that was fun. That was fun. Not as good as Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was like, that was like phenomenal. Like wow. Chainsaw, it was alright. It was passable. It was a good time, but like if you had to compare like the two anime movies, it's like a whole different ball game. But I had a good time with it, so it's fun. It's fun. It's like it's my second. Technically, if I was to like recap all the anime movies I've seen in all the years, this would be my third one. The first one was Pokemon, the first movie, and then yeah, Demon Slayer second, and then this would be third. So yeah, it's like that's made me now kind of go like, ooh, I want to see more anime movies in cinemas now. So it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, let's back on topic, guys. So remember to like and subscribe, guys, please. And yeah, let's do this, because some of this stuff was, you know, sort of like, ooh, this is interesting, and also what the F. So yeah, very curious about this. Okay, let's do this. So first up, shout out to Bayot Fontaine for sending me this. At first I didn't know what I was looking for, but then I went through this spooky who's, am I saying that right? He's posted and I found the leaks and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, this translation here apparently is this. Rumors from a Japanese informant, according to the post owner. This guy from the profile who leaked the deluxe version before the pre-sale. So what I'm gathering from this is that the spooky who dude is getting information from someone who's got information from a Japanese informant, who's the guy who leaked the Dulux stuff before it went on sale. I'm a bit confused on that, but if it's the same person who leaked the Dulux stuff and he's the one leaking all this info regarding RE9, then potentially it's legit. Maybe, don't know, gonna have to wait and see, but I'll read through this and I'm very curious what you guys think, because yeah, some of this is like, what? Like, and you'll see, you'll get what I mean when we go through it. But yeah, let's do this. So starting off, so yeah, this is page, it is a bunch of questions. I think it's like 25 questions in total. But yeah, question 1, what is the new virus in the game? Answer. The virus is described as a combination of merged elements and compounds. It's still unclear what exactly it is. Possibly a hybrid of T virus, G virus, the mold, or the Veronica strain, but it's a fusion of multiple sources. So this new virus is a combination. It's not the first time we've had different viruses that are a combination of other viruses. Dead Aim, for example, which to this day I've never played, but I watched all the cutscenes online. Let's see, that's a game I would like to try and get and buy and maybe play on my PS2. But yeah, that game had a combination of the T and G viruses. And then there was the virus in the C virus from RE6, which was a combination of the G virus and the Code Veronica virus merged together. So yeah, it would be the first time we've had combinations of different viruses. There's also the progenitor virus, which is being mixed with other stuff like with Ouroboros and that to help create it, or mixing with Jill's antivirus to help create Ouroboros or perfect it a bit. So yeah, I'm assuming this is like the T virus, maybe merged with something else, perhaps with the mold, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Very curious what it's going to be. Question 2. Do all infected creatures react to light? Answer. No, not all of them do. Some infected, including the man in the black cloak seen at the end of the trailer, are not affected by light, unlike Big Mama. So the man in the black coat is not affected by light. Okay, I thought he would have a similar condition to Big Mama, but this guy's saying that is not the case. So interesting thought. To be fair, we did see the zombies in the trailers as well, and they're sort of in the light and that, and they're walking about, and they're clearly not affected by light. So yeah, there seems to be something going on here, like maybe two different kinds of viruses, maybe two different kinds of reactions. Maybe because the Big Mama or the hat creature is Allison, perhaps, maybe, and the light, the reaction to the light is because of the daybreak vaccine in her body, maybe. Don't know, food for thought. Moving on, question 3. Is Leon in the game? Answer, yes, Leon is present. Leaked files mention he's Matilda handgun with a 15-round capacity and references to Raccoon City Police Department. Even the famous Welcome Leon sign from Resident Evil 2 Remake still exists, now lying on the floor. So if this is legit, this guy's pretty much straight up saying, yes, Leon's in the game. He's gonna get his precious Matilda handgun back. But more important, yeah, we're gonna be exploring the RPD station, obviously, and we're gonna be exploring some of those older rooms, I guess. I'm very curious what it's gonna be like exploring like Raccoon City in general, like how much of certain areas are still intact and how much of it is in complete ruins and destruction. So very, very much looking forward to that. Question 4. What about Grace Ashcroft's outfit? That's a bit weird to ask, but give me a sec. Answer. The leaker said he didn't like her current outfit, but he's excited about another one coming later. A semi-confirmed leak claims Grace will have a special costume based on Alison Ashcroft's red jacket and pants from Outbreak, included as a deluxe edition skin. Yeah, I can see that being one of the costumes actually. Yeah, you mean, you know, you've got the special one like Lady Dimitrescu. You kind of have to wonder what the other 4 costumes are, and I'm assuming one of those would be like Alison Ashcroft's outfit, like mother wearing her mother's outfit. That just kind of would fit and make sense. So yeah, I can see that being legit. Question 5. Is the man in the office the merchant? I've seen some people mention this, that the guy in the end of the trailer, like the, you know, the guy in the cloak could be like a merchant type character, but no, the answer, no, there is no upgrade merchant in this game. Weapon upgrades will be similar to RE2 and RE3 Remake, by finding parts and attachments as you progress. The man in the office, however, is a very important character, described as cold, philosophical, and knowledgeable in medicine and microbiology. The microscope seen on his desk supports this. So yeah, this guy straight up reveals, leaks what the upgrade system is going to be like. No merchant this time, which is kind of a shame. I would have liked to have some sort of merchant character come back. But I also do like the upgrade system of the previous games, just finding parts and upgrading them. Plus, it kind of makes sense. I mean, the director for this game is the same guy who did Revelations and RE7 especially, and that had the upgrade system from like RE2 and 3, so that makes sense. The man in the office obviously is an important character, obviously is knowledgeable and stuff like this. I do keep saying that he's going to be like a Buffalo Bill type of character, like that's the inspiration that what these characters going to be. If you guys remember, I think Dusk Golem at one point even hinted at the character's name being Victor. So if he's right, and if what this guy's saying true, it doesn't sound like this dude is Spencer, and it doesn't sound like he's Brendan Bailey either. It sounds like this is a completely new character. But you kind of have to wonder what the connection is, because there's obvious connections to Spencer there hidden, foreshadowed in that Road for Requiem video. And the fact the cloak he's wearing is very similar to the cloak Wesker wears. So this is clearly someone maybe obsessed by these people. Like maybe he's a fanboy. So moving on to question 6. Will there be DLCs? Answer, yes. Additional content is currently in development. Obviously, there's going to be DLCs. And I imagine there's going to be plenty of them because, again, it's the RE7 director. And because there was so much DLC for RE7, I imagine there's going to be probably a similar amount of DLC for this game, which makes me think we're going to be playing as multiple characters in the DLC at least. Like, I've got my fingers crossed for this. Like, I'm really hoping that Jill cameos in this game and we get a DLC with her. That's what I'm hoping for. Question 7. What's the meaning of the animal skulls seen in the trailer? Answer. They symbolize power and control. The character associated with them is obsessed with authority, rituals, and death. So yeah, the thing that strikes me here is the word rituals. So what kind of rituals are we expecting? Is this going to be something similar to Las Plagas? Are we going to get a new chant going with this game? Gloria Las Plagas! Gloria Las Plagas! I love that quote. I love it. Are we going to get something similar? Like, what could be similar? Gloria Lativirus or Gloria Progenitor or something. Can you imagine that? It makes me wonder though, like how far is this dude gone? Like, I'm very interested about this villain. Like, I'm really hoping they give us a really good villains. It's not to say that they haven't. I feel like RE7 and 8 have given us some very memorable villains, but at the same time, it's like you don't get to spend too much time with them, and I kind of wish they would have retweaked certain things. Like, you look at RE8 for example, and I would have loved nothing more for Lady D to be the main villain of the game. Like, I really wish they'd sort of sat down and really, you know, combined Mother Miranda and Lady D together as one character, and she could have been in the game a bit more, and maybe given like Heisenberg more. I would have loved to have fought Heisenberg in his human form, with him fighting us with the hammer before he mutates. Like, so there's a lot of like missed opportunities there, I feel like, but I'm hoping this game delivers on that kind of aspect, if you will. Question 8: is the man in the chair Oswald Spencer? Answer: the leaker said he can't give a definite answer, but for now it's not Spencer. He mentioned that this character has mechanical devices inside his body, especially in his back, suggesting a possible connection to Heisenberg's factory experiments from Resident Evil Village. So, very interesting. He can't give a definite answer, so maybe it is Spencer. Maybe it is Spencer, but using a different name, and then you get like the twist revealed towards the end of the game. Like the clues or whatever start building up, and then eventually you get the big reveal that, oh my god, this dude's actually Spencer, alive somehow. Like, maybe that's how they're gonna do it. Maybe. I like this part about the... I'm technically curious about this part with him having mechanical devices in his body, especially his back. So suggesting, because if you guys remember the last video I did mention that there was like the crest puzzles, right? There was that box containing like a reference to the crest puzzles, and then on top of it was like there was this thing that felt like it was a reference to the fetus symbol from RE8. So is it possible that this is a character that's connected to Heisenberg? Maybe this is a survivor from his factory, or maybe this is I don't know, a hidden partner perhaps that was working with Heisenberg, perhaps, maybe? You know, you kind of have to wonder what elements from horror, like elements they're going to bring into this game. Obviously, they've already said this game is inspired by like David Fincher and his movies and other films like Silence of the Lambs and shows like The X-Files. But is it possible they're going to like lean into more of the, you know, universal horror sort of monsters that we got with the last one? So maybe this guy is sort of like an ego type character, or maybe like Dr. Victor Frankenstein. Technically, Heisenberg was Dr. Victor Frankenstein, but maybe this is another evolution of that, perhaps. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Technically, you know, if you had to like pick a character that resembled Ego, if you will, am I saying it right? Ego or whatever from Frankenstein. It would be Moria, am I saying that right? Moria from RE8, like, but he was like a combination of Ego and like a monster from the Black Lagoon, I guess, or something, you know, like. But maybe this is this character instead. Maybe he's the Ego of this game. Like it's an evolution. Like it's a continuation of that, like, sort of visual or story point from that game into this one, perhaps. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Question 9: are there puzzles in the game? Answer: yes, many puzzles, and some are quite complex and challenging. Obviously, like, who asks these kind? I mean, to be fair, like, if you asked, if you played every RE game, right, and then you ask someone, are there going to be puzzles? The answer is going to be obvious. But then you play RE3 Remake, and it's like, are there going to be puzzles in the future games? Because that game didn't really have any puzzles, and the answer would be, oh yeah, don't worry, or maybe not. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess it makes sense. It's a nice reassurance. It's a nice reassurance for that. Moving on. Are there multiple bosses? This is for question 10. Answer: yes, there are several bosses, though the number is unknown. I mean, again, this one is very obvious. Of course there's going to be multiple bosses, surely. I didn't even think about this before, but I'm very curious what kind of enemy types we're going to have in this, and the variety, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. I did include the image here, which is it's a bit more brightened up, but again, you can see like the crest puzzles here. You can see again, what I'm referring to as the fetus logo, perhaps. Maybe it's a expanded version of that, a new version of that, but maybe there's a connection there, maybe not. I have to wait and find out. Question 11: is there an alternative world like in Silent Hill? Answer: yes, especially in the hotel section. there will be a flashback sequence that shifts between the burn hotel and its real-world version, creating a dual reality effect similar to Silent Hill. So that's interesting to read about. I guess that part makes sense. I mean, we've seen hints of that in the last 2 trailers, I guess. And obviously they did, again, Capcom did say this game has more of a psychological feel to it, so it makes sense. It makes sense. Moving on. Question 12. Can players freely explore? Answer. According to semi-confirmed leaks, yes, particularly in Raccoon City. The map shown in the trailer suggests free exploration across multiple areas. So this really isn't a confirmation of anything from this leaker. Like, he's just play guessing at this point. But yeah, if you guys remember, again, we saw a hint of the map, which was pretty much a lot of the areas from RE3 Remake plus some new ones like the high school. So I'm assuming that those specific areas will be semi-open world-ish, maybe similar to what RE4 Remake did. You go to one area and it's explorable and that, but then as you get towards the next area, like that area finishes and then you start exploring this new area and that's sort of semi-open. So I'm assuming it's going to be like that, you know? Question 13. Is the little girl in the trailer Natalia? Answer, no. The girl is not Natalia. So a lot of people were like, oh, there's this moment where Grace is sort of looking and she's touching someone's hand, or it's a glass or whatever, and it's clearly a little girl. And everyone was like, it's Natalia, and it's like, it clearly can't be Natalia. Like, Natalia would be a grown-up at this point. It wouldn't make sense for her to be a child. Like, like she would be grown up. Like, one of the biggest reasons why, you know, they didn't bring Alex Wesker her back thus far, anyway, is because she's still a kid. At this point, she's at least a young adult, like in her 20s. So it would be the right time to bring her back if they wanted to bring her back. But it's nice for them to sort of sit there and go, yeah, this is not Natalia. It's nice for them to confirm that. But I don't think that's a little girl in the trailer either. I do think that's probably someone Grace meets and then they turn into a zombie, perhaps. That's my guess anyway. Question 14. Will we learn about Grace's father? Answer. The leaker replied, you'd better get ready. This cryptic hint suggests a major twist, possibly confirming the theory that Albert Wesker is Grace's father. So I'm going to stop this right there. A lot of people are going to see this and immediately going to be like, what the fuck? Is it possible for Albert Wesker to be Grace's dad? The answer is no. And why is that? Because Wesker wasn't even mentioned in the recap. But also importantly, the timing of it wouldn't make sense. Alyssa clearly had Grace after a few years after the events of Raccoon City. I mean, we know RE9 takes place, 30 years after Raccoon City? So, at least by the time the game gets set there, so it will be 2026, 2028 or something? So it wouldn't make sense for Wesker to be her dad unless Alyssa ran into Wesker post Raccoon City at some point and had a fling with him, which makes no bloody sense whatsoever. Unless my other theory is correct and Grace is not Alyssa's daughter, but she was an experiment. Maybe in that way she was perhaps Wesker's daughter, perhaps. Maybe he had another kid and this group took her and were experimenting on her, but then Alyssa rescued her perhaps, and that's going to be one of the big reveals. But then if that's the case, if this is the thing, if you're bringing another Wesker child into this, right, connected to Albert, then wouldn't it make sense for one of the characters in this game to at least be Jake? I mean, if you're going to do oh yeah, daughter of Albert Wesker, why would the son of Albert Wesker not be in this game? You know, so it's one of those things you kind of have to think about when you're writing and mapping up a story like this. You can't just do something like this and then not bring in the other element, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to assume that this is BS, that Wesker's not the dad, but maybe it's Leon. Maybe it's Leon. I don't know. Maybe Leon had a fling with Alyssa. Maybe if this is Leon's last story, they're gonna do a James Bond thing where it's we find out that at some point he had a fling, he had a daughter, but he didn't really commit because of all the bioweapon stuff he was doing. So he was busy with that. And then he finds out or maybe he never knew. And then he finds out, oh shit, this is his daughter, and he has to go and rescue her. And that's how he gets involved, and that's how the story becomes this family story. Because again, I have to keep reminding people, RE7 and RE8 are pretty much have this big theme of family. And I'm assuming 9 would continue that theme of family. So what better way to continue than by having it revealed that the guy, you know, the big hero of the game, Leon, is actually the dad of this new heroine. And for us, she's connected to 2 legacy characters. And maybe this game is going to end with Leon dying, but saving his daughter's life. But then that's kind of similar to Ethan and Rosemary. So then it would be treading old ground. So I don't think they would do that. So I don't think that's going to be the case. Whoever a dad is, I'm assuming it's not going to be that important. Unless this leaker is telling the truth, in which case, I don't know. The way they're saying it, you better get ready. Maybe it's not a big thing. I mean, the way they say it makes it sound like it's like going to be this huge reveal, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something very simple. And it's like, oh, okay. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't think it's... I'm going to say it right now. It's not bloody Albert Wesker. Unless my theory that she's an experiment. Then maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. Question 15. Was the photo of Grace taken from the neighboring hotel? Oh, this is a very interesting one. Answer, yes. It was taken from the hotel next door and sent to Alison Ashcroft as a threat. Alison then returned to the hotel to investigate who took the picture without telling Grace. Okay, that's a bit... But then, I don't know, because Alison sort of walks in and she's not really in a horror, you know? It's not until Grace answers the phone and then the power cuts off that Alison starts to get worried. So this doesn't make a lot of sense. But I do agree about the neighboring part. That makes sense. So maybe we're going to explore the hotel and then we find that photo and then we realize, oh, we got to go next door and find out who was taking pictures, perhaps. Question 16. Does the man in the black cloak die at the start of the game? Answer, no. He survives even after appearing to burn. So this is saying that this guy is... Oh, wait. Does the man die? Okay, no. Okay. But then, I don't know. It makes it sound like it's the same dude. The guy in the cloak is the same dude as the guy that kills Alison, perhaps? I don't know. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they're 2 separate characters. Maybe the same. I don't know. Question 17. When will Leon be officially revealed? Answer, soon. Most likely in December at the Game Awards 2025. My thoughts, if Leon is in this game, and I'm sure he is, if he's in this game, he's going to reveal then. Like, I've been saying it for a while now, like, that would be the event to reveal him at. And it just feels like it makes a lot of sense as well. Like, it's Jeff Keighley, it's the Game Awards, everyone's there, everyone's watching. What better thing to reveal at that event than a new story trailer that reveals Leon? And then, of course, we go into next month, January, and then we get our full big preview of RE9 at the RE Showcase. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it, you know? Question 18. Is Alyssa really the hag, aka Big Mama? Answer, yes. All evidence points to that, and she was experimented on in the asylum. So, this is something Dust Golem said. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but now you got this leaker saying, oh yes, it is her indeed. So, at this point, I'm inclined to believe that this is the case. I think it is. I think it's true. The big question that comes down to like how is this story gonna work? Because you're at the asylum, and then later on you're gonna go to Raccoon City. Is Alyssa gonna be chasing Grace? Like, is she gonna escape the asylum and she's gonna head to Raccoon City chasing her? Or are we gonna deal with Alyssa at the end of the asylum segment before we go to Raccoon City? And then, of course, you gotta remember, like, Doss saying that there's, like, 2 different timelines going on as well. Like, we're gonna be playing as Leon in here, and then we're gonna be playing as Alyssa here. So how does that all work? Like, how does that all come together? Like... Question 19. Is there a lab in the game? Answer, yes. A large laboratory exists beneath the asylum, where experiments on the hag took place. Alyssa's handgun can also be found in the asylum itself. So I think the handgun, Alyssa's handgun, I think we know what that handgun is. I think we saw a preview of that when the game was first revealed. We saw a little preview with Grace holding the handgun in first person. I think there's even pictures of it. So we do get that handgun at some point. But it is a bit strange that that Alyssa would die and then they would recover the body and then they would take her handgun as well. That's a bit weird, isn't it? We'll see. But the asylum having a lab, yeah, I mean, we can already tell that there must be something there. Like, they wouldn't just keep the experiments on the above ground, like something's clearly going down somewhere. Obviously a basement lab. Question 20. Will the demo be different from the full game? Answer, yes, slightly different. The public demo will differ from the private demo shown at conventions. I hope to God that's the case, because I do not want to start up this game and spend like the first 10-20 minutes, whatever, when we get to that location, knowing what direction everything to go in, because I've seen the bloody, you know, the bloody demo so many times. I'm hoping it is different. Fingers crossed. Question 21. Is the game dark and psychological? I think that's pretty much been confirmed by Capcom, yes. Answer, yes. Very dark with a heavy psychological tone and shocking moments. Expect intense drama and surprises throughout. Obvious answer. That was already answered like back already. Question 22. This is an important one. Question 22. Is Jill Valentine in the game? Answer. In the early development builds, Jill's name and outfit appeared in the files. Later, her outfit data was removed, leaving only her name. It's unclear whether she'll be referenced in files or appear in person, but she was definitely planned early on. My thoughts on this. Jill's going to be in this game. She's gonna 100%, because I don't think this is like an Ada situation where they did concept art for Ada and then they didn't do it, because that was concept art. They never, I don't think they ever modeled a character and created a segment for her. They just did a concept art and then they ditched the idea. With this though, Jill was originally in the original version of the RE9 game they were working on, which was apparently called Apocalypse, which was also a multiplayer / co-op game. At some point they scrapped that and they did this game, but you kind of have to wonder that Jill would have been in this game at some point, right? And you kind of have to wonder what kind of role she would play. I think she's going to be in this game, and I think she's going to be on the side of the BSA, and I feel like this is going to be, it's going to end the same way RE7 ended, where the BSA are going to come in to like help, but it's going to be like the last minute thing, and then Jill's going to show up, and it's like that's her cameo, and then we'll get DLC playing as her in the future. That's what I think is going to happen. There's going to be some loose end in this game, and Jill's going to come in and she's going to wrap it up. And then that may or may not set up something for RE10, or her segment specifically is going to be used to tie up the corrupt BSA storyline, where we find out during her segment that that whole storyline already took place. Like that happened between the events of 8 and 9. And then maybe a future game will tell that story perhaps. Maybe not. But this is just my theory and my prediction, and I hope to God I am right. Fingers crossed. Question 23. Are the enemies repetitive? Answer, no. The enemies are diverse and plentiful. This entry will not suffer from the limited enemy variety of RE7. I love RE7. I didn't mind it. Yes, I wish there was more enemy variety, but I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was a nice, simple sort of game going back to the classic sort of era with a first-person view. I thought it was fine. But obviously, after RE8 and then the full remake and all that, you kind of want to go bigger and better. So here's hoping that we get a lot of enemy varieties in this game, and we get a lot more mutations, and we get some returning enemies. I really want to see like mutated lickers in this. That would be cool. Fingers crossed. Question 24. Are there connections to older Resident Evil games? Oh my god. So, some of these questions are very obvious. Answer, yes, strongly connected. However, Capcom reportedly plans to include a recap inside the game so players won't need to replay all the titles to understand the story. This feels like something like they did with RE5 with the history element. So maybe this game's going to do the same sort of thing, and it's like, hey, remember this, remember that? It's like when you're watching a TV show, right? And then sometimes you get like a recap, and certain things are shown in the recap that makes you realize, oh, this thing from like a few episodes ago, or from a season or two ago, is now going to be important for this episode. Like it's going to come back. So I'm wondering if it's something like that, Question 25. Are there human enemies too? Oh, that's an interesting question actually. I don't think we've ever had human enemies in Resident Evil. Answer, yes. There are hostile humans involved in the virus trait and bio experiments, not just zombies or infected creatures. This could easily just mean that you're gonna like see like humans in the cutscenes and that. That doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna fight them. Unless it's like a Dead Space 3 thing where you fight human enemies, like finally. I wouldn't mind that. As long as the combat is good. But at the same time, I think it's unnecessary. So I don't know. We'll have to wait. Unless they're gonna connect it to Umbrella Corps, right? And we're gonna get the Umbrella Corps guys coming in, and we're gonna have to fight them. That I wouldn't mind actually. I think that would be kind of cool for them to tie it to that, and we get some sort of resolution with that corporation, or with Blue Umbrella, or whatever. But again, I sort of feel like that's something they would keep for Chris's story maybe in the future. So I have to wait and see. Anyway, final slide. What's the source of all this? These are fan questions sent to a Japanese leaker on Discord. He answered some of them while others were left unanswered. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the entire thing. I read it all out. I gave you my thoughts. Whether this is true or not, no idea. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. And hopefully it won't be long. I mean, I don't think we're going to get anything this month. But obviously, it's the 7th now. So that means, and the Game Awards is on the 11th of December, literally next month. So we got like a good 5-6 weeks to go. So just have to hold until then. Until then, guys, yeah, we'll know. We'll know pretty soon whether all of this is BS or not. But for now, we're going to take this as a grain of salt. And as always, guys, remember to like and subscribe, please. And I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and bye.